Coming soon to own on
YouTube
video
and Twitch.
DVD.
Most painful construction deaths ever. Oh shit. This shit finna get crazy. I'm already knowing.
Across the United States are large industrial iron foundries that use molten iron to produce things like engine blocks, frames, and structural components for cars and buildings. At the Caterpillar Mapleton foundry in Illinois, molten iron is melted at nearly 2,600 degrees Fahrenheit. A
Oh
heat hotter
shit.
than lava and hot enough to obliterate human flesh in an instant. For the workers at this factory, the foundry floor is a place where one wrong step means certain doom. So it's of utmost importance that each crew member moves with caution 100% of the time. On June 2nd, a 39-year-old
See, I feel like I already fuck up in there. Like, if I gotta like be precise 24/7, like I'm not a clumsy nigga, but I am prone to like trip or some shit. But like I burn like the shit off my skin.
man would be working his 5th day at his new job. He was tasked with retrieving a sample of molten iron for testing. He spun down a giant metal wheel that caused the molten iron to pour out of the vat. Afterwards, he leaned over the boiling hot iron. He got close, like really close.
Why?
And then liquid molten iron popped
Oh.
and exploded all over his face. I'm kidding.
Ooh.
He successfully retrieved his sample of iron and returned back to his manager. Unluckily, however, he'd somehow slip on the stage and partially fall back into the molten vat of iron. He tried to escape, but it was impossible. Half of his body was in, half of it was out. And before you know it, in an
Ooh.
instant, he was consumed by the roaring orange abyss. Witnesses described what happened as beyond comprehension. He passed away instantly, but not all of him was consumed. Part of his body remained on the steel deck for the coroner to
Yo, the Gojo photo is crazy.
retrieve. Emergency crews rushed in, but it was already way too late. There was no saving him. The foundry quickly shut down, investigations were launched, and then questions arose. How could a man with so little training be placed so close to one of the most dangerous areas of the factory? It was literally his 5th day on the job. For his colleagues,
5 days in, and god damn, man. Peace to the fallen.
it was not the first time they'd seen such horror. Just a year earlier, another worker had passed away at the same plant after a similar fall.
And we didn't think to change it up, you know? A nigga died. Hey, let's keep it the same way. Maybe it was just his fault. You ain't think they can happen again? Peace to the fallen.
And
God
now,
damn.
yet again, a worker's life had been cut short in the most violent way imaginable. In factories like these, safety isn't just a guideline, it's survival. When molten metal waits beneath your
Illinois.
feet, there's no second chance. One misstep and you're gone in an instant. The cable incident. It was just after noon at the Whitworth sawmill in East Texas. The air was thick with the grind of machines, the smell of fresh-cut pine, and the heat of men working hard to keep the mill alive. But inside, 4 men were locked in a struggle with a jammed wood chip machine. To free it, they turned to the heavy steel cable that wound its way around the gears. They
While it's on? The fuck?
pulled, adjusted, and worked the line, hoping to break the machine loose. And then, in an instant, disaster struck. After working the cable for what felt like forever, they had stretched it out to the point that it extended itself like a bow and tightened back on one of the men.
So you ain't think, hey, look, let's turn this shit off. Try to pull it. If it don't come out, we could just disassemble it. But nah, it gotta be on. Like, what are we doing?
Upon pulling the cable and stretching it back out again to free the man, it finally snapped. The stored energy
Ooh.
released with the speed of a bullet and the force of a guillotine. It whipped
Damn.
across the work area with deadly precision, striking all 5 men at once. The impact was catastrophic. 4 of the 5 were decapitated instantly.
Decapitated, nigga?
The 5th man got lucky. He was thrown away to the side and the bones in his leg got shattered, but thankfully his life was spared.
Damn.
For the men who witnessed it, the scene was indescribable. One moment, their co-workers were fighting with some stupid jammed machine. The next second, the floor was silent and each of their bodies stood upright
God
in their same positions
damn.
with a crucial detail missing. The ground was littered with helmets, sawdust, and bodies. When EMTs arrived at the scene, they were obviously only able to save the man with the injured leg. The sleeve incident. In a cavernous
Leave.
factory in
Sleeve incident. I'm already guessing it. This nigga had some long ass sleeves and shit got caught in some grinder or something.
In Russia, cameras were quietly watching a scene that would later horrify the world. On the floor stood a massive horizontal lathe. The machine was giant, and its steel cylinder was rotating with an unstoppable force. It was a machine built to carve through metal itself. A
Oh yeah,
Russian
yeah.
man tasked with running the machinery froze upon seeing it.
Is that Joe? Joe Bartolozzi?
For a couple of moments, he would just squint deeply at the machine, closely inspecting it. His posture was casual, and then from casual, it grew curious. Although it's not entirely clear what it was, the man noticed something wrong with the machine, but after inspecting it, he went about his business. And then he came back because his curiosity got the best of him.
Hmm.
Something was obviously wrong with the machine, so he went in for another look. It was then that he realized that he had been inspecting the wrong thing all along. His gaze shifted from the machine to the ceiling above it, and he was astonished with what he saw. He was right. There was a bit of a leak dripping down from the ceiling onto the machine. A sigh of
Oh.
relief came from the man as he became relieved that he had figured out the issue. As he began leaving to retrieve items to fix the leak, he'd quickly realize another, more concerning issue. His sleeve was stuck. And
Damn.
just like that, in a heartbeat, everything changed. The man was yanked into the spinning machine. His body slammed between the cylinder and the base, whipping around with such force that he looked like a rag doll in the grip of a hurricane. The lathe
Ooh.
spun faster and faster. First his shoes would fly off, then pieces of his flesh, then chunks, then his limbs. And before
Ooh.
you knew it, he
God
was turned into a
damn.
mist. The camera captured it all. There was no time for rescue or hope of survival. Moments later, another worker in full protective gear entered from the side. He froze at the sight he saw. Red trails, shredded remains, and a stained room. He lifted his hands in complete frustration, then dropped them in despair. The unfiltered camera footage spread across the internet, shocking millions before being digitally wiped away. Safety experts pointed out the obvious in this case. Don't wear loose clothing
Why did that like niggas be too weird? I know for a fact that shit didn't digitally get wiped. That's in some random like chat log niggas are sharing around. And that's just that weird shit.
around machines like these, and always keep a safe distance between them. The roller incident. It was just after noon at a factory in the Saint Laurent borough of Montreal. The facility specialized in recycling plastic. Massive
Oh,
machines
foot
churned
new.
endlessly, crushing and shaping materials with unstoppable force. For workers, the rhythm of the rollers was just another part of the day. Clock in, crush and churn, go to sleep, repeat. Except for this day. On August 8th, 2016, at around 12:15 p.m., a 56-year-old employee noticed a piece of plastic jammed in the roller machine. Determined to keep the line and the
Not your job, bro. That's not your pay grade. Some shit gets stuck, some shit look wrong with the machine. Turn it off or leave it be and tell somebody. Tell a boss or some shit. Got hair in my mouth. The fuck? But nigga, that's not your pay grade. Some shit wrong with the machine. This big ass machine. Don't try to just sit, fix that shit, nigga. Turn it off or go tell somebody higher than you. Hey, this shit's stuck, bro. This not your pay grade to go grab this.
rhythm of his job moving, he climbed up a ladder and reached in to pull it free. As you could
Like, come on, bro.
guess, while trying to perform this extremely dangerous task, the rollers would pinch his finger. He'd scream in pain and try to yank it out, but in a split second, his hand was caught and effectively crushed. Unfortunately, that wouldn't even be the worst part. The rollers dragged him in, pulling his body into the unforgiving gear-crushing machine. First his hand was sucked in,
Gosh.
then his arm, then his head, and then his chest. His torso became wedged into the entry space of 12 centimeters before co-workers rushed to stop the machine. But by the time
Oh
it
my
halted, his body
gosh.
sat deeply jammed in between a space no bigger than a clenched fist. Insanely enough, however, he was actually pulled out of the machine alive, despite his body being
Nigga, what? Oh, yeah, see? Me personally, it just take me out, bro. I don't want to survive something like this.
crushed and broken beyond repair. Emergency responders rushed him to the hospital in critical condition, but there really wasn't much doctors could do. The man was literally flattened, so sadly, he succumbed to his injuries shortly after. Behind every
Damn.
phone, car, or laptop you use, there is a person. A person
This a ad. I
who
think it
spends
is.
anywhere from 8 to 16 hours a day working tirelessly in a factory full of dangerous
No, I thought this was an ad
This
for a second.
equipment to grant you these luxuries you have.
Appreciate that,
Life is
Twin.
delicate and quick. It can be here 1 second and gone the next. So, no matter how small, always be grateful for the good you have. Don't take any of it for granted. Tell your parents,
How you spitting,
siblings,
though?
and friends you love them. And as usual, have a happy day.
Tired. Love y'all too. Shit. Okay. Oh yeah, he had to end the video with cats. That shit was serious. That shit was crazy.
You don't own my soul. Get your hands off of me. Wanna rest my bones when I am free. You can't control my heart. Bones when I am free. You don't own my soul. Get your hands off of me. Wanna rest my bones when I am free. You can't control my heart. Bones when I am free. You don't own my soul. Get your hands off of me. Wanna rest my